Today's webinar I'll be focusing on becoming agile in an agile way. And there's three topics where I will be focusing on, which are the learning objectives for today's session. The first one being to find out how agile and lean that you are already and how you can use agile self-assessments to see how agile you are and to make next steps in your agile journey. Second part will be focusing on how you can do continuous improvement, and one of the ways that we'll look at that will be on using what I call short-cycled improvements to improve in your organization. And the third part will be focusing upon using agile retrospectives as a way to get benefits out of agile lean, and again there will also be focusing on using continuous improvement in your organization with agile retrospectives. Well, Susan introduced me already. There's some more information on this slide. What Susan also mentioned, I'm also working together with InfoQ as an editor for Agile. So there's more information if you want to know about Agile adoption in enterprise organizations if you look at the InfoQ website. There's also a lot of information on Agile adoption and also on the topics I will be talking on today on continuous improvement and retrospectives on my own website. Let's start with a few facts about agile development. Basically, agile development started out in 2001. That was when the term agile was first coined in the Agile Manifesto, where 70 people got together and discussed how they found similarities in the way that they were looking at the way the software development was done in organizations and how they should be finding better ways, uncovering better ways to do software improvement, software development in organizations. In that 2001 meeting, they basically came up with 4 values and 12 principles, which are noted in the Agile Manifesto. And if you look right now, I think Agile has taken a big swing since 2001. Certainly in the last years, many organizations have been adopting Agile, have been using Agile practices in their organization, and also more and more organizations are looking into lean software development to see how they can use that in their organizations. There are a few major networks who are focusing on Agile software development, like the Agile Alliance, the Scrum Alliance, and the Agile Consortium. But there are multiple networks around the world, and there are also a lot of local networks who can help you to find out more about Agile software development. And just for some figures also on Agile adoption, what you can see from the version 1 survey, which are doing yearly survey on Agile adoption, is that organizations who have having less than a 1 year experience with Agile adoption is 12%. 1 to 2 years, 38%, 2 to 5 years, 36%. So the majority of organizations is having a few years of experience right now with Agile. As I explained already, it started in 2001, but it's really taking a swing in the last couple of years, and more organizations are adopting Agile practices into their organization. If you look at which Agile practices are used, then most of the organizations are using Scrum or some kind of Scrum adoption. Then organizations are using Scrum combined with XP programming, and there are some organizations who are using own internally developed methods, which also are Agile methods, adhering to the Agile values and adhering to the Agile principles. One of the questions I also hear a lot is people asking if there's data on Agile software development, if there's any confirmation what can be the benefits of using Agile software development organization. And there actually are some papers, I've listed them here, and there's links in this presentation, also to more material on the results you can get out of Agile software development. There isn't that much yet, but there is some evidence of situations where Agile works. So if you want to know more about this, you can use these links. Agile is something that you cannot do overnight, and actually I think that Agile is more than a journey than really a change process, more than a one-time change. So in this journey where you're becoming more and more Agile and lean, you can basically recognize 3 steps that you have continuously. The first step will be to check how agile that you are already in your organization? Which Agile practices are you using? How agile are the various teams in your organizations? Once you have an insight how agile parts of your organization are, how agile your own team is, then you can decide where you want to become more agile. And I also said why you want to become more agile. I think the why question is very important to have a good understanding why that you want to improve and why do you want to become more agile. If you have clear that you want to become more agile and you also know why you want to do that, then you can decide on the next step to take to become more agile and lean. And then you're back to step one, again looking how agile you are and trying to find ways to become more agile and lean. So that's also the reason why I call it a journey. It's not a one-time change process, but this is something that you start with and that you will continue on doing in there. What's very important if you want to become agile and lean in your organization is not just focus on the agile and lean practices, but put much more focus on an agile mindset and bringing an agile culture into your organization. Some people call this being agile over doing agile. So instead of doing the agile practices or doing some of the lean practices in an organization, it's much more about understanding what agile is about, understanding why you would do certain things, and really living an agile way in your organization. What that also would mean is instead of just doing the processes and connecting steps, you're looking on doing continuous improvement in your organization, having an understanding of the why over how. To develop such an agile mindset and develop an agile culture requires that you become a learning organization, and to learn, feedback is very important. Agile processes like the Scrum already have feedback parts built in there, so they have explicit points in there where you have feedback either on the product but also on the process, on the way you do your software development. And if you really want to become agile in your organization and you want to develop an agile mindset and culture, then using those feedback points and also bringing in more feedback points where you think that they are valuable and become a learning organization is very important to make sure that you're getting benefits out of agile development. So looking at the question, how agile are you? And it basically means that you can look what you're doing already in the organization and checking how far those things adhere and fit with the mindset and the culture that an agile organization would have. So do you already have teams in your organization? And then with teams, I don't mean groups of 10, of 20 or 30 people, but really teams are all working together, teams are having a common goal in there. Then you might already be agile. If you're already doing time boxing, instead of having a project who has one delivery at the end, but you're working in some kind of iterative way with time boxes, then you might also be doing some agile stuff in there. So you might already be agile. And I think that is very important if you want to become more agile, to get some insight in how agile you are already. We're looking at the way that you're doing your software development in there and mapping that to agile processes and mapping that to the way that you would like to use software development. A similar thing would apply to lean. Also there you can look how lean that you are already in your organization. The way to find out is a little bit different if you compare it to agile. It's not that easy to really find lean practice in your organization, but if you want to become more lean and use lean in your organization, then you would be